What is going on, guys? This is BP here, back with a quick video for you all. Today I'm going to give my thoughts on the RTX 5090. I've had 30 days to really tinker around with it, play a bunch of different games with it, and I just wanted to give you guys my quick thoughts on how I am liking the purchase after 30 days here in 2026. Whether or not it's worth it, do I have any regrets, some things that have surprised me, and whether or not you guys should go ahead and take the plunge and buy this absolute beast monstrosity of a GPU, because that's exactly what it is, an absolute beast. So just to give some of you guys a quick background of the setup that I'm running, and if you guys want a little bit more information about my PC build, I'll have that linked for you guys as well, so you guys can go check that out. But I am running a 9800X3D. I'm running 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM, and I have a 1200 watt ROG Strix Platinum power supply, just to have that extra overhead. Don't really think I'm going to need it, but again, just kind of want to future-proof myself again with this build. I'm not going to be one of those guys that's going to be upgrading this build every 2 years, 3 years. I kind of just hold these builds for the long run, and try to get the most obviously bang for my buck. I am coming from an RTX 2080 Ti, which again is not a bad card at all. I love that card. It was great for what I needed it for, and now I'm going into 4K gaming. The game just doesn't the card doesn't really support, obviously, 4K gaming, especially with ray tracing on. It's just not happening. It's not going to happen, right? So let me be clear. The RTX 5090 is absurd for gaming, okay? And so before going into buying this, you need to understand that this card is just ridiculously overkill. It's really overkill. If you are an absolute crazy psychotic enthusiast like I am, go for it, and if you can afford it, go for it. I personally would not go for it at the prices that they are now. I was very fortunate enough to get this 2 weeks before Christmas, before the news came out that supply was going to be limited. So I really honestly was very, very lucky, and probably one of the last adopters that, obviously the card was already overpriced as it is, but I didn't get absolutely shelled on compared to some other people that were buying in January and now early February. So again, this game is awesome. I just played through an 80-hour playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077, ray tracing Psycho. Even with the DLSS on, the game was just, I'm going to be honest here. Again, I'm not trying to sound, disgusting or gross here. I enjoyed the game more with an RTX 5090. That sounds crazy to some people, but I did. It made the game so much more immersive than when I was playing it on a 2080 Ti back when the game launched. And back then, when I was playing it, when it first launched, obviously the game was broken. It was buggy. It wasn't running as flawless, or not flawless, but as good as it is now. And just playing the game now with just ray tracing on, it just makes the game more immersive. And that's what Cyberpunk really is a great game for. It's just a very immersive game, right? The more immersed you're in it, the better it feels, at least during the sessions I've played. So I'm not trying to sound, disgusting here, but the RTX 5090 made the game, it felt better playing it. I'll be completely honest, right? The best part about having a 5090, and I'll say this, right, from my personal experience, and one thing I really didn't think about was just going back and playing older titles, right? Playing older titles of games that I really enjoyed playing, and really seeing them with this, this fresh new paint on it almost, and just, maxing out a lot of these games. Like, I went back and I played Mad Max, and Mad Max looks awesome. I mean, this game came out in 2015. Like, it's not the best game in the world, but it is very underrated. It got crapped on a lot when it first came out. I remember the reviews for that year, for that game when in 2015, and that year was just really just stacked with games. You look at 2015, the games that came out that year, I mean, it got overshadowed. And it's a fun game. It's a great game, and it looks awesome on a 5090. I mean, you don't even need a 5090 to run this thing like maxed out the way you want it to. But I was getting upwards of like 380 frames per second on this game. Really, and again, this game is capped, so you can't really see anything over 120 frames, anyways. So, but it just looked amazing. It looked awesome. Just again, it's just fun just to go back and play some of these games, and just know that performance isn't going to be an issue, especially with this build. So I think that's one of the best things about owning a 5090 is just knowing that anything you're going to throw at it, it's going to absolutely destroy, for the most part, right? When I'm playing on this build, at least, long gaming sessions, surprisingly, I haven't really heard any GPU noise. I know a lot of people talk about like coil whine and stuff. Again, I'm not this massive, enthusiast, just looking at benchmarks. Again, this is just real world, eye view test and listening tests from myself just sitting down next to the PC. I don't really hear that much. Again, that being said, like I was saying earlier, you do need a really good PSU for this card. This is not a budget build GPU, nor should you treat your PC if you're getting a 5090 as a budget build and skimp out on all the other components. Because again, you're gonna get yourself into problems, or risk getting yourself into problems that, again, you should just otherwise just save up a little bit more money and just get the parts that you want to get, right? Again, it's awesome. Really, it's a luxury. If you're gaming at 1080p or 1440p, this card is absolutely pointless. At 4K, high refresh, max settings, this is where the 5090 really makes sense. Again, if you're 1080p, 1440p, it's just ridiculous. Unless you're gaming at 1440p and you're trying to get like 300 frames, 400 frames or something, or along those lines with ray tracing on. I mean, I guess go for it, but you're really going to want to play this game at 4K. You're going to want to play games at 4K with this card. That's the main reason why you're going to, go into this. But let me guys know, drop a comment, would you actually buy the RTX 5090 just for gaming, or is at this point, is it just way too much? What is an acceptable price that you would buy an RTX 5090 at? That's the one thing I'm very interested to see, because as these prices continue to go up for this card, it's going to be interesting to see what gamers, I guess, are actually going to be able to justify buying this card at. So again, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. Bye bye.